We'll do our very best for you, James. And yeah, we've even got Choco Taco, you know, turning up in chat. We've got all the gang rolling out. We love to see it. And yeah, we're going to be starting off in towards the east, heading pretty much bang over Gatka too. So we might get an answer to the question of, do we get the hot drops? Do we have any of the good fun times in front of us? Faye's going to get a comfortable start here, of course, but plenty more to be seen, and you know, some newer names towards the top of the board here, Rich. I'm happy to be seeing it.
Yeah, it's good, and it's kind of reminiscent of what we kind of wanted. It's not what we expected; it's what we wanted. We want to see the skills that pay the bills from the teams that we know have more than capabilities to be able to do that. But most importantly, it's seeing teams that have kind of fallen at the wayside in more recent PCS performances. And honestly, like if it's a return to form, no better time to do it than the very final event of the year. They said this could be a very, very special one, and it needs to go out with a bang. And it's, I mean, for some teams, it could just be that. I can see Sauna Boys and ETG, they're having a little look around. We saw some scuffling yesterday at Gatka. Could we potentially see the same again with Youth all the way on the other side behind the chopsticks? I very much doubt it now. Equipped him forever. Just at the houses above them, but it's still quite close proximity and something that we definitely need to keep in the back of our minds. Circle hits, and oh boy, does it go into the water. A fair whack in play. It could get out of danger here, could Northern Lights, and that's by a third party. Someone is shooting at Kill from a very long distance away. You mentioned they weren't ready for this one. They were heading towards it, or maybe even not so, and just kind of wandering by, but then heard the vehicles late on. First nade, first contact. Perfectix goes down. Kill position now well and truly noted. Brexco can support from the opposing side. Flushes, finishes, job done. Now he needs to be careful. Don't get greedy. Don't get overzealous and just go too far that you're out on a point where one of these players takes you down in response, or someone gets you from distance, just like that. The response is there. Now the tables have turned and we're kind of beamed up into an even game here. The bombardment will continue. Zocker's trying to pull this one's back. The vehicle gets in the way. Could have done with pulling that one up in front of him, but Brexco is there to try and do just that, give them a boundary to play off the back of. And is he getting aggro on this one? He's pulled up pretty close. I'm quite surprised he's tackled this head on, Lauren.
Yeah, it's a bit bold, isn't it? A little underhand there.
Ah.
Brexco trying to draw a line in the sand here. Hold that push point, make sure no one goes further forward. A couple of shots coming in. And this could be another team. This could be anyone firing a fire. I don't think that was Shift W landing those shots, so that could have been plenty of others. Now there's further problems. The bystanders will hear this. Now they're on the southern side of the island, so there's other problems, and Batulin's attention is split between, you know, two very, very good teams, and now you're seeing Liquid came in with a shot towards Brexco, but the Pink Ponies instantly trade out. And that's, again, very unorthodox. I don't normally see the likes of Liquid getting involved this early. Normally it's, let's get that center point, maybe a nice 2-2, but they've really gone in quite soon on this. This is going to be kind of causing a massive battle to potentially happen here. That's going to go on for quite a long amount of time. No, I'm with you, and you're seeing Liquid maintaining this position and not just finding Northern Lights, but this is probably a flush too, and it does go their way. Maybe be a little bit more proactive, and I like this from Liquid. I'd rather see them not just kind of try and cruise through under their normal speed, which a lot of the other teams are currently at. They're not, you know, super subpar to anyone else. They're sitting pretty much middle of the table. I'd like to see them get proactive early, because we know what happens when they get into those late game scenarios, late tournament scenarios, and they pop off and they go mad, and everyone's like, why couldn't you do this from the start? It's a lot easier said than done, of course. And that nade was very fortunate to not find example. Or unfortunate, I guess, depending on which way you want to look at it. And a good circle coming in for the likes of Liquid, Na'Vi, Pink, Ponies, FaZe. The bystander's not too bad off either. They'll get at least the safety of the very likelihood of no one coming behind them. However, the Wanderer gets the emergency meeting button hit this time. No funny business here. Sauna Boys on the way past going to do perfectly well. Good little pickup. But we'll see if they make it through cleanly for the rest of it. They've taken a fair bit of flak on the way, so going to try and pull up, get a couple of shots back. But you are seeing a kill coming in towards, I think it was off-string there. Yes, so knocked down. And these guys are isolated for WS. They're not that close by.
The fight's been forced, unfortunately, for the Sauna Boys. They couldn't come in on the northern edge because of Ents. They then moved a little bit more to their right. They couldn't come in because of Omicron. And then you've basically got WSA, and it's like, well, what do? We have to make the best of a bad situation to be in. They have removed one player, but as they stall, as they stop to gather their thoughts, some of the tires were gone off the back of the vehicles. Like, this is now why, unfortunately, they are dropping. Nuki goes down. If they lose one from this, I think it's the best of a bad situation. Zocker has fallen. Uber and I'd have found him, so Shift W trying to find a new home within the area of the circle. Small amount of... To be held back for so long by Tornado Energy, it's a real turn.
Yeah, beyond that, I would like to see how DA get themselves in safely and not get too much attention. The Sauna Boy is going to receive a lot of eyes from TSM, who are currently entrenched, literally in the trenches, as the Finns try and make their way through. And Misa's having troubles all across the board. Redline, careful to not overextend here, boys. Yeah, that's a little bold. Got a little too ahead of himself. Gets a little bit of fire back towards him, so Marv on the knees, and DA still going to find some damage. That's actually on Squeaky, so they've kept position. Now Omakun's going to get on this fight. Look at this. You have now someone in the middle, Omakun on one side, and then you have DA a little bit further back on the other. Now Page with some serious damage coming through. Nice work with the Org. Just holds it down, finding Tixu as well. Now Rustamor would love to get back into this, but you can see how widespread Omakun are. They control so much of this hillside, you're not going to get a look in edgeways. So now Omakun control the north. Now ETG will be called into attention from this, and I still wonder what DA do with this information, but this now goes to a bigger picture. Look at Northern Lights, look at Na'Vi, look at what remains of WS. Poor old Kemba, desperate to try and make a way in. It's not easy. The field, the infamous shack, will potentially become a conversation at some point because it's getting quite centralized here. Still a lot of the north in play, though.
Youth with...
It might be to play a unfavorable percentage and hope for the best. There's somewhat stability now in this circle. No one's going to lose life in rotation. Oh my. He's just chilling out. Feels DA, man. Feels DA. I like
it's that moment when you want to make sure that you throw the real nade, and it's not a... You know, it's just, oops, wrong nade. Oh no.
Guys, dropped a nade. Guys, run, run, run. Oh god, if a nade came through, could you imagine? Oh, Mer's been found. Yeah, I mean, so this is the thing. You could either lay here and just get peppered to pieces, or you make an unfavorable play, which is we can send it somewhere and hope for the best, because this is not going well. They decided to just try and stick it out, and it's not gone well. Yes, they get center point, but this is kind of how it tends to go. So, they will be eliminated, taken down. You know, is what it is.
Tornado on the other side will probably regroup with ETG. They've been in fights various times throughout this game thus far. Especially with the vehicles now, positions will be made aware of. Navi eventually have to come out and fight up against Pink Pony. At the moment, ETG look like they can try and wrap onto this one and get the upper hand onto Tornado Energy. See a bit of damage coming through from a different player as well, because they have a much deeper angle into this. Northern Lights, slowly but surely, will eventually come out from their hiding holes. WS also in the same. Good response from Quizzy. Answers back. Quepta with 2 HP. Gets the job done. Fantastic response to keep this one alive. Nades will begin to unfold from the side. Nothing found just yet, and he has to keep running. Can't even heal. As soon as the blue touches him, he will be a dead man. Marv on to kill you, Kai. Last player goes down from Shift W. 13 position for them. Huth giving up to the blue, and that's because of the knock that came in earlier on. Not a big problem. Senya, though, onto Vampire. So from distance, they remove one player outside of the windows. This gives Na'Vi an opportunity to get up against the walls.
They've got to get in there. They're just trying to send every nade, every bit of utility in towards this to try and give them a second or two. Orange and Tab still alive, trying to make the damage happen, but you've got... I mean, Vampire is knocked, but they could potentially get him back up. Besto trying to get Senya back on his feet. Time going to be a factor. That is not a safe area, and you can see the preemptive smokes there to try and create a path for them to instantly move forward. So if that blue touches them, they're dead. So Example now forced to fight as well. He might decide to back away if he can. Yes, he does. Now the Tab's actually found an 8 towards Archie. So whether or not that's 2 now knocked for the Pink Ponies, or if it's just simply 1, we're yet to find out. But Etiquette's in all kinds of trouble, in between a rock and a hard place. TE down below, and now the team kind of laying down the fire from above. And Na'Vi are looking like they're successfully taking this compound from the Pink Ponies, which is quite surprising. They had hard cover to play with. And once again, that shack becomes the most paramount position on the map. Melman still in the fight towards the north. It's moved away from all these teams. It's time to frag out, boys. This is what it is. You will not get in, you know, a full squad. So let's try and get some points on the board, and they do just that. Nice work between Melman and Example. Very quick on the trigger, as T-Bone does fall. Iroh also doing well for himself there. Now, we got to look at the circle overall in a second's time, and I want to quickly highlight, yes, that Omicron and T fight is going to go on, but look at this. Now, Liquid bystanders phase, as I highlighted, become the big names in here. TSM could arrive and make a bit of a noise for themselves. Northern Lights is going to be tricky to leave that area, very visible across the board. That's why Uber and 80 are probably still in that position. This fight in the north is going to come to an end soon, as Na'Vi are going to turn up here and potentially just sweep everyone aside. And they've done just that. Melman, example, go down. Uber just found Batulins, watching that position as we noted. And that's going to become a bigger issue for Northern Lights. They cannot easily leave this area. Yeah, okay, we go to the left. Liquid sees us. And right now, Senya sees everything in the north.
There's no breathing at all for Na'Vi. They've initially just taken the compound, they've worked their way through circle updates, and they have to go again. They've moved into a position that they can capitalize and remove Omicron as they come down from the north. There is danger, though. Yort's actually overstepping his boundaries and working his way outside of the shack to get some shots into this, and I don't blame him. If he can pick up some free frags, then why the hell wouldn't you? Circle does come in, does the damage, and removes Omicron from the game in 8th position. Orange half HP. Senya, unfortunately, Tab is down. Back on his feet, alive and kicking, but now positions have been noted. Again, with the vehicles there, it wasn't a guessing man's game anyway. You knew that there was going to be a team lingering in that shack. Liquid, they can play with a ridge line that runs outside of Milta. As it just dips into the middle of that field, they can play it with ease. And now Navi's position, moving up more towards the central side of the circle, it becomes so much more easier for them. TSM have a full eye line into this. And look at that, they're even getting the vehicles, and they're tackling this. They want to get involved. They're going to take them face on. This is a fantastic push from TSM. If it works, it will be even better. Someone's attacking the shack. What is this? Liquid's going off on one. They're clearing out the bystanders. One good molly inside there will spell disaster. But Navi's turned up as well, Lauren. This is utter chaos.
Everyone knows this shack is just death, and James is going to confirm it. Bodies litter the floor. And if he goes in unawares and doesn't realize there could be someone else here, Tab might get the best of him. Now, does James play this right? There's smoke, there's mollies, there's bits and pieces everywhere. Tab's unsure what's happened, who's where, and now the fire's still burning. He's got to be careful here. He's inside, but did he make noise? I think he did. Tab now might be noted, and another nade's about to be posted. James is sending teams just absolutely out of here. Tab is tagged up. Another nade. Dead one this time allows James to get closer by, and that's going to be a beautiful bit of hip fire. And that's exactly what you wanted from him. And now James controls the most pivotal part of the map, at least in the last circle. This has moved further east, and TSM have won the fight up against Na'Vi in the north. TSM control the northern portion. FaZe dominate the east, and Liquid over towards the west, and Northern Lights outside of the circle.
I'm quite surprised at this one. I expected to see that shack in play for a lot longer, to be fair, but the circle does pull it outside of the fields, and we have to hop on board with TSM. They're top side of this. They have the best position. It's not inside, and that's the crucial thing. That's why they have to take a fight against FaZe Clan, or at least do as much damage as they can if they want to work their way forward. That's a pivotal position to take a hold of if by some chance they can take control of it, but it's easier said than done. Aitz's position gives him full vision, full overwatch of them working their way down that mountainside, or hillside if you will, not a mountainside. It could be a mountain task, to be fair. Top 4 comes in, as unfortunately Ivers does go out. But look at that. Could you ask for a better final 4 teams in the circle? It's only FaZe with 3 alive.
Oh, Vard, you galaxy brain player, but does get found by Fuzzface in the end, who's waiting patiently to get picked up by Batulins. Northern Lights battering their way through. They are in no man's land. They're in the middle of a goddamn field, and they're still finding kills. FaZe just got crashed in the end. Gustav still stands and desperate for a bit of a heal to come off, and he gets it.
Give them some breathing room. Give them something. A lot easier said than done. Could be an easier task for FaZe if Aitzy nails the shot, which he does. And you know what? TSM's like, I can't even help you. We need to get out of this one. But does Vex know what's coming? Does Gustav knows what's coming? He does not. Ram raided out of the server. Vex takes control of the rock and just absolutely mashes him into the ground.
I cannot believe that. And again, this is some of the more established, more experienced teams towards the end here, so you do not expect mistakes to be made. Aitzy's going to find Iroh, get that point in his pocket. We're going to watch a replay back here. Aitzy's going to have to find a way into the circle eventually. He's kind of locked in this compound. There is a touch of area he could shuffle into, but it's not great. Northern Lights, similar scenario. They are not in the new circle. Close as they may seem, they are not in, so this is what's going to happen. They have to make some mad moves, try and make it count, and Vex is trying to make the points while he can. He's the only one alive for TSM, and he's still doing work. Now the Northern Lights get piled in upon, and surely this is going to be a big moment for Liquid. 4 of them still standing. Vex has 5 kills, though. Aitzy on the other side. But now begins the hunt for Liquid. They are hungry for this one. 4 players. There is not a world where I see them drop this, but Vex has been a beast in the past, but now he's looking battered and bruised and a little sore from the fights before. Another piece of utility, more flashes, more stuns, more everything being poured down. Vex's vision must be down to 0. You can see how meticulous they're being, though, how cautious they're being. Vex is still undiscovered, peeks out, says hello, and Jeem says goodbye. We're down to just 80 now, and it looks like a Liquid win if I've ever seen one, and it is. They even grabbed the points. 10 kills for Liquid. And I've got to say, a little bit more proactive from Liquid, and I like to see that. 10 kills there for them.
All my life I want money and power, respect my mind, no die from last child. I pray my dick get big as the Eiffel Tower, so I can fuck the world for 72 hours. Goddamn, I feel amazing. Damn, I'm in the matrix. My mind is living on cloud 9, and this 9 is never on vacation. Start up that mind.